Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present our emostas about pretreatment design for reduced phosphate level in laundry unit DR.R Koesma Tuban Hospital
with precipitation and filtration method. The first presentation will be delivered by Yulia.
For the first presentation, I will explain about the terms that used in this discussion: pretreatment, filtration, and precipitation. Pretreatment is preliminary removal of water or sludge constituents used before a conveyance or treatment technology retard the accumulation of solid and minimize subsequent blockage. 2. Filtration. Filtration is process to remove solid particle in liquid or gases using a filter medium that allows the fluid to pass through while retaining the solid particle. 3. Precipitation. Precipitation is technology used to remove dissolved ionic metal from solution, such as a process was water containing toxic metal. The slide next is the background of the research. The background of the research is: number 1 is laundry unit as one of the contributors to hospital waste that can pollute the environment. Laundry water itself contains phosphate in the detergent used. Phosphate from detergent is able to pollute the environment with a phosphate loading contribution of 25 until 30% in water bodies. Excessive phosphate content will cause a decrease in water quality and eutrophication. 2. The chemical content of laundry waste is quite high. 3. The pretreatment design previously owned by the hospital could only started from wastewater, so the chemical content of the waste still high. The next slide about problem limitation. Problem limitation in this topic is first pretreatment design using precipitation and filtration methods. Precipitation was caused because, according to research conducted by Yulia 2008, precipitation is one of the chemical treatment process that is effective in removing phosphate content in wastewater treatment. Then, the filtration method was used because it was able to reduce phosphate level. Second, the pretreatment design is only used to treat laundry unit with wastewater. Problem solution for this problem is make pretreatment design to treat liquid waste from the laundry unit using the precipitation and filtration method based on design criteria. So the next presentation will be continued by Yulia, Zahwa, Faradiba. So Farah, please continue the presentation.
Thank you for the opportunity. I will continue the presentation that has been delivered by Yulia. Now we come to the part of how to make a prototype design. So, in making this pretreatment design, there are several steps that must be done. The first step is to calculate the water needs at the DR.R Koesma Tuban Hospital. This hospital has 4 washing machines with different capacities. The operating time is 5 times per day. Based on the 2004 Indonesian Hospital Sanitation Manual, the needs for the clean water for the laundry unit is 40 liters per kilogram. So, the need for clean water can be found by multiplying the operating time by the capacity of the washing machine and the needs for the clean water. The total need for the clean water at DR.R Koesma Hospital is 23.42 cubic meter per day. The next step is to calculate the percentage of the clean water that becomes wastewater. To determine the percentage of the clean water that becomes wastewater, samples were taken by washing using a washing machine. 1 kilogram dirty clothes and a bucket with a volume of 12.74 liters. The percentage of clean water that becomes wastewater is obtained by calculating the total volume of water from the sample, divided by the total volume of clean water needed and multiplied by 100%. So, the result is 97.40% of clean water that becomes wastewater. The next step is to calculate the wastewater discharge at laundry unit. To obtain the discharge of wastewater, it takes data on total clean water used by the unit and percentage of clean water. So, the wastewater discharge generated by the laundry unit is 22.82 cubic per meter per day. The prototype design is used to treat only 10% of the generated waste. So, the water flows used is 2.282 cubic meters per day. In making pretreatment design, of course, we need a pump. The pump serves to push wastewater, so it can go to the next pretreatment step. To determine which will be used, it takes wastewater discharge data to process the length of production of the laundry unit. From this data, it is known that the flow rate of the waste is 3.9 liters per minute. So, a pump with a capacity specification of 4 liters per minute is needed with a water pump type, with a pressure of 100 psi and with an electric power of 12 volts. After determining the pump requirement, the next step is to determine the prototype design criteria. The design based on the discharge determined by the researcher, which is 10% of the waste discharge generated by the laundry unit. The next step is to determine the design criteria from the precipitation reactor. The required precipitation reactor is divided into two. First, to reduce the level of phosphate and heavy metals, and the second, the precipitation reactor to collect the accumulated precipitate. Detail of the needs of the reactor can be seen in the following slide. Next is to determine the design for the filtration reactor. The required filtration reactor is a reactor with a slow sand mixer. Next is to determine the design for the filtration reactor. The required filtration reactor is a reactor with a slow sand filter with depth of 26 cm, length and width of 25 cm, and height of 55 cm. The first reactor is washed on the top layer of solid sand by removing it first, and then the top layer of solid sand was washed with water. Finally, we come to the last step. The step is to determine the design criteria for the dosing tank reactor. So, what is dosing tank? Dosing tank is a tank that used to contain various chemical liquid and control the chemical dosing required with dosing pump. The dosing tank will help describe chemicals during the chemical precipitation. The dosing tank criteria required are 10 cm in diameter with 10 cm in height and capacity of 1.57 liter. In previous studies, it was known that the speed of the impeller dosing tank required was 120 rpm. More details can be seen by this following slides. So, the design of the pretreatment to reduce phosphate level of laundry unit at the DR.R Koesma Tuban Hospital with precipitation and filtration method are drawn using an AutoCAD application, with the dimension according to the design criteria that have been obtained. For more detail can be seen by this following picture. From the following picture, the number first is dosing tank. Number 2 shows the chemical precipitation reactor. Number 3 is the image for the sediment collection reactor. And number 4 is the pump. Thank you for your attention.
We hope this video is useful. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.